Today for North Toronto, Alexander Lynn was starting alongside Gabriel McKenna along with Brendan Baroni. Alone in the startup is Christian Westlaken alongside Luca DeMarco. Ali Alzier starts alongside Jalen Drummond along with Daria Vukas. Rounding the lineup today, Kai Martin and Bilal Reslan, your players for North Toronto. For Windsor City FC, Dante Carraro starts off in net once more today with Mark David Siegel alongside Riley Tukulik. Gianfranco Facineri starts alongside the captain today, Bastian Aguilera, with Matthew Andreas on with Andrei Aminov. Jose Babone and Jonathan Icapito alongside top 11 nominee Owen Antoniuk and Lobel rounds out the lineup. Hazy sunshine, as just seen there, 29 degrees Celsius, the weather conditions today. But as talked about, very gusty winds. Well, the winds went away for 1 week last time out against the Borussia Dortmund affiliate squad. This week, they've gone up in full force. With this being the third to last home matchup for Windsor City FC today, can they pick up a critical victory and play a little bit of spoiler in terms of the points tallies for North Toronto, especially with them tied in points in the standings with Burlington SC entering the day today? That just about all set today. Speaking of today, the officials for the matchup, Joey Filipich will be alongside Teodora Kalishik along with Tanya Candido along with Pero Pajic. Windsor City FC set to start with the ball today as we get ready for the final home matchups of the season. North Toronto in their white and green jerseys today. The goalkeepers in yellow. Windsor City FC in their signature red and black jerseys, green for the goalkeeper. Runs away from Windsor. Already starting with a long pass, blown way down the field to the corner. Matthew Andreas the target. Taken back up the side, Drummond. Pass to midfield, quickly intercepted. Bounced right back in a sea of tackles. Vukas with the touch. And it goes back the other direction, Windsor City FC ball. Now check that, North Toronto after the initial signal. It's past 30 seconds into play here on We Digital. Glad to have you with us from Acumen Stadium for the main campus of St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario. League One Ontario play. It's the picture for relegation starting to open. Pass goes out of touch. Windsor City FC ball. Throw-in coming from the far side. Our Windsor City FC squad coming off a 6-2 victory against that Waterloo-based squad. Borussia Dortmund's International Academy squad from the region. On the pass towards the box, quickly taken back away. North Toronto with a long pass to midfield. Looking to dart around to the pass. DeMarco quickly picked up by Windsor City. And the wind is so strong, it's gusting the ball on the turf. Very treacherous field conditions today to be able to make passes, let alone track the position of the ball. Alexander Lynn able to track it quickly. For Lynn, this is start number 7 this season. 6 goals allowed in those starts, but a yellow card as well in just about 500 minutes with this match today. And a tackle down brings down McKenna. North Toronto maintains the ball. North Toronto led by their 14-year head coach of the program and multiple other teams, Marko Monovic. Watching along as they work through the traffic, Antoniuk steals it away. Moved up the center loco, quickly passed over. Agapito from the near corner. Pass on back. This is Aminov. Move back around, Aguilera. Back to Facineri and forced to reset defensively. All passing, moving around the midfield so far. 2.5 minutes into play here from Windsor. Grohl, meanwhile, start 13 this season as he picks up the ball. More than 1,000 minutes played, 26 goals allowed. He's played every match except one in 2023. Grohl under pressure, able to pass it out of the pressure from the box. Moved upfield, Andreas grazes his head, takes it up. Has open space, and quickly hits the back of the legs to McKenna. Move back around the edge of the box, McKenna. Kicks it, curls back to the logo. Facineri forced to drag along. Wind's currently blowing towards the grandstands here in Windsor. Hence why all the passes starting to curve, even those with any closeness to the turf towards the opposite way. A tackle back the other way, McKenna. Slide tackle, Lobel. And that moves all the way back, deep on the side of the pitch for North Toronto. Worked around by Lynn. Lynn trying to adapt. Big gust. Facineri on the defense, couldn't knock it down. Now it's Asher Barnes. Barnes, one of the leading scorers, leads up the pass. Up to Ozier. Broken up. Drakilik kicks it away. Throw-in signaled. For Windsor City FC today, they look to try and build a winning streak. They've only had one this season. That was back in mid-June against Simcoe County in Hamilton. Their win last time broke a 3-match losing streak away from their home facility. Coming up to 4.5 minutes in. Looking, McKenna. Avoiding the heading chance. DeMarco on the attempt on the header. Grohl now with throw. Throw nearly blown out of play. Amanov. Kicks back Facineri. Trying to keep it along the goal line. Barely does. Wind blows it out of touch. Throw in. Intended for Agapito. Talking about how things play out coming into today for North Toronto. A 4-2 record of their past 6 matches. Last time out, though, a tough loss to one of the top teams in the standings, Blue Devils FC, second in the table. That was their 10th win for Blue Devils in 2023. On the attack attempt, Barnes. And that blows out of touch. Then it's getting set up for the corner. North Toronto's first corner opportunity here today. Bounce back, picked up instead by Emanov. Facineri deep in the box. Kick back to midfield. Gust again going North Toronto. Battle around the midfield, looking for communication. Westlaken wanting to pass it. Swing back outside. Brisland. Move back on the attack. Chased down by Siegel, but knocked out a touch in the battle with Elzier. Goal kick signaled for Windsor City. Now approaching 7.5 minutes into play early in this one. Still no shots on target. In fact, no real shots. A slow pass for Facineri. Siegel, very long kick. Trying to get it over to Pabon. Couldn't get to it. Westlaken. Moves it back to Lynn, the counterpart. Lynn elects to kick it far. Midfield. Knocked down quickly, kick to Agapito. Pass around in traffic, Pabon. Slide tackle, Pabon picks it back up. Move to the box, first chance, first shot. Knocked away, second chance, score! Antonia keeps the momentum going, no flags raised. Windsor City FC's up 1-0. Toniuk right there on the rebound, coming off a very stellar match last time out. How about make it 4 goals in the past 2 weeks for number 11? Those coming on just the first shots of the day after all the wind setting up difficult conditions. Make it 5 goals, should say, in the past 2 matches. 4 goals were credited to Antoniuk after the match. And just like that, it comes just before the 9th minute. 1-0 Windsor City FC, now your scoreline. Moved along from the traffic, North Toronto looking for a quick attack. Barnes. Forced to retreat out of the box. Kick back around for a quick shot. Resland blocked. Move back up quick down the field. Lobel taken back. Still working the way around after the first goal of the match. Windsor City up 1-0. Toronto looking for the response with Martin for the cross. The shot goes out. Signal is goal kick. See the attempt out, the cross attempt. Quite a little bit wide. Drummond was the shot taker. In the case, top scoring marks. Antoniuk now 11 goals for number 11 in 2023. What's been a stellar start. Windsor City today in a stellar stretch here in the month of July. Player coming off a Team of the Week nomination at the forward position. Brown midfield. Quick pass, Barnes. Bounce backs, taken back by Windsor City. Offside flag raised on the battle for the ball just past the midfield mark. It looks like go back the other way in that battle. North Toronto quickly pass back. Westlaken. McKenna. A bounce. Slice passes by DeMarco. Marco getting into a pulling match with Lobel, and there's the whistle. And quickly, the officials discussing things with Lobel. Both players were tied up together. The time of the whistle. See, right there, this had gone on for at least 5 seconds. That was DeMarco. North Toronto will set up for the free kick, about 30 yards out from the goal line. Here it is once again. You see how long this lasts. Lobel and DeMarco. DeMarco lucky to not get the card given there. Four or 5 Windsor City FC players set up on defense. Set play. Reslan, second option. From 30 yards, quickly into the wall. Kicked away by Windsor City FC. Moved around the midfield. Now looking for Barnes. Carrero catches it on the wind gust. Once again, 1-0 your scoreline after the first goal of the match coming in the 8th minute. Owen Antoniuk, his 11th goal of the season and his 5th in 2 weeks alone. Inside Windsor City zone, headed down by the Nitros. Back along to Emanov. Lobel. Back to Emanov. Down the line, Pabon towards the logo. Bone pass to Antoniuk, too far. Floated back by Barone. Lots of headers going back and forth as knocked down by Aguilera. Carrero. That respective matchup. Goals came in the 33rd and 52nd minutes before a 89th minute goal from Vuquez. Lynn had made the start in that matchup. Meanwhile, Carrero picks up the roll and pass away. Move back long, way long to Lynn on the wind. For those who tuned in throughout the season here at Acumen Stadium, a common sight throughout the season here. It's been wind gusts. The stadium situated at the main campus of St. Clair College, but alongside Highway 401, an area that's known for being very windy in terms of the region. Lots of open space outside some hill cover you see on the upper left corner of this facility. Currently, Nitros looking for a little bit of push. Barnes from 35 yards out misses the woodwork. 15 minutes in, about a third of the way through the first half. Windsor still up 1-0. Carrero. Emanov. Carrero. Up to Babone. Too strong to the commit. Trip up causes a whistle. Free kick signaled. Vukis. And already pleading the case there is Aguilera. Here's the reason. Remember, this is off the bounce from Pabon trying to get the ball, and he does kick the ankle. Quickly passed as they're still discussing it with the official. Quick shot deflected by Emanov out. McKenna nearly taking advantage of that situation. Windsor City FC did not look in position. Corner kick signaled near corner for the Nitros. Second corner shot of the day. Resland once again relied upon for the set piece. Looking for the header, the wind blows it away. Move back to midfield. Who's it out of touch of? It's out of touch off Windsor. North Toronto throw. Taking it through this time, Martin. Pop up off Facineri. Bounce down for him. Speeds around one attempt. Electing to take it himself. Andreas now with it. Shot with the left foot. Scores! Andreas with the far shot. Makes it 2-0 Windsor City. Matthew Andreas with a quick juke in the first place to open the door for his second goal in 10 matches. Andreas has been someone that they have been trying to increase the shot amounts to. If you realize the past couple home matchups, that time it opened up a chance quick. Back it away, Nitros with it. Last time there was a goal attempt from Windsor City. The Nitros quickly responded within 10 seconds. They looked to try and do it to Barnes again. Move back between the defenders. Win nearly knocking Westlaken back. Up to Lynn. Floated midfield now once again. McKenna. Pop towards Barnes. And the wind sails it out of touch for a goal kick. So a very stellar start for Windsor City today against a North Toronto team needing wins in the battle for the top 8 seeds in the table. How about 2 goals in 3 shots for the hometown squad? Flared up, Facineri, and a knockdown on Andreas. Continuation called. Andreas gets back up. Offside flag raised. Babone was the passing target. So Andreas gets up after that attempt at the header. North Toronto with possession. McKenna. Once again towards Barnes. Facineri and Barnes fight. Knocked out a touch. Goal kick signaled. Barnes thought it was off Facineri. Officials say it's off Barnes. And a whistle towards the side here in this 20th now to 21st minute. So it looks like North Toronto looks to regroup here. Again, so far goals for Antoniuk and for Andreas for Windsor City FC today. Water break is the official signal from North Toronto. As talked about with the seeding, Burlington SC tied with them on points entering the day, despite having one more match played. North Toronto needing a win to keep up, if not gain distance, with Burlington in the table. Alliance United FC was just 2 points ahead of them entering the day today with an 8-2-4 record themselves. Once again, we'd like to remind you to stay tuned after today's action for the Windsor City FC Flames Fried Chicken Man of the Match presentation. Be sure to try Flames Fried Chicken today at 561 Wyandotte Street East here in Windsor, Ontario. So after the timeout, now at the 22nd minute, North Toronto down 2-0 to Windsor City FC. Mind you, this is a North Toronto squad who have not lost, should say, back-to-back matches at all in 2023. They've had a tie and a loss to start the year. Vaughan, Missouri, and Electric City, but they've not lost back-to-back matches. Still early here, they look at least minimum to get to the points mark. Carrero not liking the positioning as we're backing away. Been preferring the right side with the wind slicing towards his left today. There's the slice. There's the North Toronto header again. Move around midfield. Martin. Antoniuk trying to provide pressure. Sprinting away from it, McKenna. McKenna gets the whistle. Free kick. Yeah, Antoniuk now discuss things as they call for separation. Like to just pass it away, and now they want to repass it. Kick around West Lincoln to the outside. Looking back past midfield, West Lincoln bouncing from the midpoint. The defensive layer. McKenna looking for the midfield layer. This time finding Martin. Pass quick. Deflected back to Martin. Over to Barnes off of Facineri's forehead. Back to midfield, Babone. Losing roll of the ball, West Lincoln. Back along, Alzier. Again, Barone. Kicked around by Lynn. Back far side by the Nitros. Moved by Alzier. Dreas trying to provide defensive pressure. North Toronto. Still one shot on the target today. That still remains the same. Misses the woodwork. Out of touch. Goal kick. Quickly breezing our way through the first half of play. 2-0 still the scoreline. Coming up to the 25th minute of play here in Windsor. Facineri. Floated up to Babone. Move to West Lincoln. Up McKenna. Walk around. Retreat around. McKenna. Back around West Lincoln. Move ahead. Barone. Up the far side. Misses the leg of Alzier. Kick back going to Barnes. Move around to Reslan. Slan nearly trips on the turf. Taken back by Emanov. Lobel. Aguilera. Aguilera from Agapito. Lobel. Facineri. Lobel. Moving to the other side. Agapito, Facineri. Still working from the backside. Facineri. Agapito now starting to speed it up. Pass to Babone. Take it away. Martin. Twirls back. DeMarco. McKenna. Reslan. Kick ahead. Barone. Now back instead. Westlaken. Finals there. The far side. Trying to round the corner. Drummond. Shot rolls out. Out of touch. Signal. Corner. Officially at the halfway point of this first half. Here's a look at the replay. Once again, some of those wind gusts playing disastrous for setting up offensive chances. Track locations. Reslan trying to track his teammates. Corral catches it and nearly bobbled it in traffic. Able to get some separation now. Facineri now carries it forward. Walked ahead. Emanov. Facineri, no, instead took her back to the goalkeeper, Corral. Again, Facineri. Looking up the middle. Tania got deflections. Move back, Emanov. Aguilera. Emanov. Facineri. Back the dribble, Aguilera. Move back again, Corral. Worked around in the box now, Lobel. Kick back again, Draculic. Facineri. Still given plenty of space for the pass. Toniak knocked back to Facineri. Breaking out towards the 29th minute of play. Still 2-0. Move back down the far side. And that got out of touch. All the way to some of the players warming up from the side. So as things take a second here to gather things for the positioning, I'd like to remind folks that next time out is an important matchup for Windsor City FC, especially for the community, because it's their Stuff the Truck game day. Next week, they'll be gathering school supply donations to support United Way's Backpacks for Success program. Brought to you by Absolute Comfort. That, again, their second to last home matchup this season. That matchup against Masters FA next week, July the 23rd. Coverage starts 4 p.m. Eastern here on We Did It All. So it looks like they'll be switching the ball out here for the start of the 30th minute. And after a lot of discussion, Windsor City FC has the throw-in. Lobel, pass back. Pass through the traffic of Babone. Back to Lobel. Bell forced retreat all the way back to the defensive layer. Andreas, and off of Andreas and out of touch. Quick throw by the Nitros. Knocked down. Lobel. Again, trying to play keep away. Corral. Floated up. And look out if you have a car there. Luckily for the owner of the one person to park there, the ball bounced next to the car and not into the car. Far side. Drummond trying to wrap himself around. Couldn't get around Siegel. Instead kicked out a touch. Say throw in the other direction. Windsor City. Now whistle. Regroup. Here's what was discussed there. You see grouped together Drummond, thinking it was contact there to the face. Seen a bit of it there. Either way, play on. Through the box, the traffic. Siegel kicks it out. And look out, Carr. This time you do not avoid hitting the door. The ball has now hit their driver's side doors. Back in play. The new ball. Far kick. Reslan. Sized up. Right towards Martin. Couldn't hold on to it though. Pizzo. Trying to kick it far. Instead hit the heel. Move around. Brawny. Reslan. Back out. Alzir. Here through two players. Trying to juke through a third. Shot off the woodwork. Second chance. A dive flies over top. How close can you be? Fancy footwork goes for naught off the near side post. Alzira was looking for his fourth goal there of 2023. So Carrero now sets back up from the right side of his box. Far side out screen. Sails up and over everybody. Towards midfield. Knocked down, Lobel kicks off a Nitro player. Moved up off the bounce. This is Agapito. Toniuk works into the box, elects to retreat back instead. Abadov to Facineri. Slow dribble. Once again, Abadov. Not liking the positioning yet. Facineri. Draculic. Facineri. Right around the logo. Floated over everybody. Doesn't stay in touch, however. On the range of a bone. Nitro's ball. Coming up to 11 minutes to go in the first half of play. Still 2-0 Windsor City FC. Knocked out a touch in our throw-in. Just one shot on target combined since the last goal for Windsor City. This time Windsor City heads it up and forward. This is Barnes. Juking left. Couldn't get the shot squared up. Vendors kick it away. Lynn calls for it. Walk up. Barone. Westlaken gets it back. Westlaken. McKenna. Midfield. Where's the battle with Vukas? Move back to Reslan. Back up the far side. Bouncing past Siegel. Forced to reset. Barone. Working around Drummond. Zier. Tripped down and a roll. And North Toronto. Good position for a free. Alzir is down, however. This is Siegel in the area. Along with Facineri right there. Alzir back up. No motion for a substitution for North Toronto. Closest free kick opportunity of the day. This from the far side, about 10 yards from the goal line. Looking for a slice. And it sails down, header off the side of the mesh. The regroup for a corner on the near side this time. This is Barone on the knock. And it does get deflected there right at the last moment off the post by Carrero. From the corner. It's time going from the ground. Kick to the sky. Toniuk heads it away. Windsor City FC just boots it. Able to avoid any pressure now. Martin letting Lynn get to it. Coming up to 8 minutes to go in the first half of play. Pending extra time. Martin. Work back between McKenna and Westlaken. McKenna. Traffic drawn by Martin. Watching the run back. Vukas taken back. The ball. Antoniuk. Looking. Passing. Back outside. Work to Lobel. Bell on the roll. Gets it back a third time. Work back to Drakulik. All the way back out to the goalkeeper. Drakulik kicks it out of touch, out of the range of Siegel. Instead, now sets up a throw from the far side. Officials telling them to move back for the regroup. Lobel with Siegel. Siegel past the midfield, taken away. Alzir walks it out. Out of touch. Windsor City throw in. Windsor taking their time. Off the back heel to Babone. Babone takes the kickoff. Off the Nitros for a throw-in. Throw short. Kick back Drakulik. Knocked back over to Siegel. All but 3 North Toronto players to the box. Headed down by Windsor City. Martin off the deflection. Knocked back by Drakulik, out of position. Now DeMarco. Westlaken trying to chase to it. Alzir showing his footwork again. Up to Barnes. Barnes back to Alzir. Facineri trying to tackle all over. Whistle blown. Free kick coming. Facineri. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times for the whistle blows, trying to take a whack at that. Drakulik sets it for the free. Just under 5 minutes of play. Pending extra time in this first half of play. Here on We Did It All. Carrero on the kick. Headed down, Westlaken. Alzir. Move ahead to Marco. Up towards Barnes. Barnes to the wing. Martin. Shot. Second chance. Scores. Drummond puts it in. And just like that, North Toronto trims the gap. It's 2-1. Carrero having to make up a lot of ground on the initial shot. And in turn for Drummond. In the 42nd minute, he gets his second goal in 15 matches. Once again, Facineri. Work back out Siegel. Quick tap. Bone runs around the defender. Moved up Andreas. Walk back Pabon. Andreas. Toniuk calling the traffic. Knocked down. Kick bounces off the back of the defender. Pabon can't get a shot off. Kicked up by the Nitros. Under 4 minutes to play. Now in the first half, pending at a time. Work ahead, it's Barnes. Quick pass, kicked away by Siegel. Knocked back just outside the box. Martin coming off the assist. Moves to West Lincoln. Work back, Barone. Now it's Drummond. From far out, Carrero knocks down and jumps down on it. A combined 9 shots on target have led to 3 goals. Goals flying, now closing up this half. Going silent for a bit. The Nitros with it, Martin. Moved up to Marco. Working around Agapito, now Facineri. Can't hold to it. Facineri contact, play on, they say. Pabon. Move midfield. Agapito. Toniuk cuts back. Agapito. Now it's Emanov. Slicing the Siegel. Kick back. Up to the sky. Carrero again. Off the bounce. Knocked forward by McKenna. North Toronto looking to try and see if they can tie up the score sheet. Heading into the half. That after a Drummond goal. Coming just moments ago. In the 42nd minute. His second of 2023. Up the field. Near side. Vukas. Kicked out. North Toronto throw. Let's look at the previous sequence that caused some frustration. That was DeMarco on the battle. Play on was called. Speaking of playing on. A kick for a corner. Barnes kicking it off a couple players. Check that throw. Throw is in regardless. Looking for a cross. Lobel sliding away. Now moved up again. 2 minutes of out of time signaled for by the officials. This ball goes out of touch. So we'll play to the 47th minute on your screen. Here's a look at the previous sequence. Lobel initially knocked it back. But now they'll set up for a far side corner. Up through traffic. Outside the box. Roll back by Alzir. DeMarco. Move back out. For the cross. Carrero breaks it up. Looking to kick it fast. Spirals it all the way down to Lynn. What a foot race. Nearly getting it to it was Agapito. 45 seconds to go in the half. North Toronto looking far. Siegel knocks it down. Header back and kick back. All scattered about Martin there on the pass. Alzir back in position. Through 3 layers, taken back. Capito. Kicked off and taken away to Marco. Broken up again by Facineri. Capito off the slide tackle, Windsor City ball. Quick throwback. Just about the end of the half. 2 players down at the halfway line. And a whistle right before 47 minutes. Wesleyan is down on the tackle attempt. Wesleyan and Antonia right in that vicinity. Right there. Caught up together. This was as they were trying to both slide for the ball. Strong words with Antoniuk with the officials there. Again, this happening just prior to halfway. Here's another look. Very slow motion. So Wesleyan goes down right as the half comes to a close. Halftime score, 2-1 Windsor City FC. A critical time on the score sheet here in Windsor.
For every big breath, for every little breath, and for every breath in between, Ontario Power Generation is committed to keeping Ontario's air clean. That's why the power we generate is 99% free of smog and carbon emissions. Because clean air matters to us all.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Monson Time Express. The world is in an unprecedented battle these days. We all have to come together to beat this horrible virus. Monson Time Express encourages everyone to stay safe and listen to the experts leading us through these challenging times. A new normal is going to have to be considered in our everyday lives. The team at Monson Time Express understands that you and your loved ones are still trying to go forward each and every day. Monson Time Express is here to help and remains open to take care of all of your delivery needs. With a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo vans and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks, it doesn't matter if your freight is big or small. Monson Time Express can guarantee the safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Monson Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days of the year. To get your delivery moving, contact Monson Time Express at www.monsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282. From the Monson Time Express family to yours, stay safe and stay healthy.
No, I never smoked any. Sure, I smoked a bit, but it was more your mom who was into it. Pot grows naturally, but it won't help you grow as a person.
Talking cannabis with your teen can be learned. Download our free brochure.
You know what? Poison ivy grows naturally, but it's not good for you, is it?
Find the answers you need at drugfreekidscanada.org.
What can milk do? Well, it can turn you into a morning person. It can help fuel some pretty tough stuff. And it can definitely make cartoons funnier.
No, it can't.
Oh, well, it can have a little edge. But come on, even kiddies love it. It'll keep up with you at any age. It makes engines whir and creme brulee creamy. It's one of the easiest labels you'll ever read. And anything that makes this happen is pretty special. In fact, what can't milk do?
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of League One Ontario play. Justin Brits with you here on Nitro. 2-1's the scoreline. Windsor City FC up over North Toronto. Windsor started off the scoring earlier today with goals from Antoniuk and Andreas in the 8th and 19th minutes, respectively. The Drone responded with a goal in the 42nd minute. North Toronto was close to breaking through prior to the start of this second half. Underway here from Windsor and Acumen Stadium once more. One substitution of note. Robert Jakovic is now out. Brendan Stebanovic, wearing number 32 today, is now in for Windsor. Starting things off from the far side. Looking ahead, Stebanovic. Pass nearly taken away. Battling Agapito, drawing a whistle. And now multiple whistles blow with a card starting to come out of the pockets. And there it is. Agapito, yellow card. Our first yellow card of the day coming from this. That was in the battle for possession with Vukas, and now the 46th minute unofficially. By the way, the score lines in terms of shots, 7 shots for North Toronto and the Nitros, 3 shots for Windsor City. Down into Windsor territory. Carrero having it go for a little bit of a jungle gym move. The ball went off the mesh regardless. Don't see that every day. Having a swing around on the pole. Carrero sets up for the goal kick. Nearly out of the range of Aguilera. Headed up. Back around Agapito. Tonyuk trying to draw traffic. Instead flared back up for a header. Tonyuk. Quickly kicked fast to Lynn. Lynn holds on to it. Now roll it back. On the far side, Martin. Working around DeMarco. Kick back this time. Round Barnes. Barnes. Watches it go. Go in touch to Windsor for a goal kick. Six saves so far in turn with Guerrero. He's preferred, however, all match be on his right for the kicks. The wind has started to settle down a little bit here. Facineri electing to push ahead with it. Agapito. Up outside. Up to Agapito. Antoniuk. Has Andreas on the right wing. Can't get to him. And goal kick signaled. So as we set up for the quick goal kick chance here, keep in mind the next time out, as talked about earlier, Masters FA comes to town, 4 p.m. Eastern, July the 23rd. Catch that here on We Digital for a 3-game-plus road trip. One more home game for Windsor City FC after that matchup next week. North Toronto looking for the equalizer. Reslan, shot, stopped. Carrero. Shots are now flying after 4, now in the past 15 minutes of unofficial time. Agapito. Kick back and miscommunication. North Toronto to bring it in touch. Layered around through the traffic. DeMarco couldn't hold on to it. Now taken up. Stevanovic pass intercepted. Roll back to Lobel. Take back. Lobel moving far from the midfield. Work now to Facineri on the near side. Up to Siegel. Siegel sees Antonio knocked down. Whistle called. Barone. A quick free kick situation from this. Legs definitely caught up in there. Unofficially starting minute 50. The clouds starting to really spread over top Windsor. Barely anybody inside the box. How does this play out? Slicing left. Taken back out by the Nitros. Slide tackle rolls off the back of the foot to Marco. Retreats back for it. McKenna. Move back. Westlaken, the facilitator. Forced to go near side, Barone. Off the chest, Alzir. Too much, Aguilera. Siegel. And just rolling past its target, Barone. Back to Reslan. Move around, Vucaz. Pass back, McKenna. Now back around quick. DeMarco. For the cross. Off the bounce, Alzir with space. Pass through the box. Deflected and scores! And the Nitros have tied it in the 51st minute. Barnes there in position after multiple defenders get spread about in the box. And Barnes now with a club-high 6 goals on the season. Tied up at 2. Wind gusts it out. North Toronto to bring it back in touch. Rolling back out. And a lot of whistles back for a throw in the other direction. A flip of the script after a quick Windsor City start. North Toronto responds back. Antoniuk looking for his own response. Flared back. From the defensive layer from Emanov. Move back to Lobel. Emanov. Out again. Karamunsel's trying to draw around the traffic at this point. There's Agapito. Siegel. Andreas. Left foot. Slow slice. Lynn elects to hold on to it. Lynn on the roll. Taking about quick. Vukas kick. Knocked back and instead creates a cue ball effect with all the other soccer balls. Play back on. Alzier has an option to his left. Jukes instead right. Knocks back Andreas, and that going the other way. Free kick Windsor. And it looks like the card book coming out. Or at least the pocket being held onto from this. Andreas getting back up, and it looks like no card coming out there. Barnes also amongst that discussion. Still set up. Drew Falconeri. Unofficially, about 54 minutes in. 2-2. After the equalizing goal moments ago for North Toronto. Popped around. Kick to the sky. Aguilera. Back the other way. And that's a little bit too much hugging. Multiple whistles fly. And now Antoniuk with a card. Doesn't even look at the card as it gets issued. Second yellow card today for Windsor City.
Yellow card issued to Owen Antoniuk in the 55th.
See, there's the second part of it that really triggered it all. So a yellow card to Antoniuk. Yellow card earlier as well going to Windsor City. Agapito. As well. North Toronto. Move back West Lakin. Can't even get the fake out to midfield. Alzier. Worked off the bottom of the laces of DeMarco for Windsor City now. Agapito. Sprints it. Andreas. Quick pass. Agapito. Antoniuk. Lobel. Outside again. Stevanovic. Forward back around to Lobel. Still looking to spread things about. Falconeri. Work to the air. Antoniuk and another whistle. Free kick. Antoniuk trying to knock it down. North Toronto quickly passing it off. Lightning quick, too quick. Into touch through Windsor's throw-in. Drummond started off the scoring earlier today for North Toronto. Squad now working unofficially towards the 57th minute. Evened up after Barnes put it into the back of the net. Out of through the throw-in. DeMarco. Kicked up Breslan. Drummond has Siegel. Alzier. Breslan. Looking far. And sailing away. Not able to add to that score line on the bottom of the screen. Unofficially, about 10 minutes was the difference between those goal marks. About 12 if you factor in the added time or so. Barnes leading the way now for North Toronto. In terms of the goal mark, or rather tied to it, was Zakara Abdi. 6 marks on the season. For Barnes, that comes in 13 caps now. It's one less than Abdi coming into today. Kick back to the other side. Tracked down by Lynn. Breslan. Sliced far to Martin. Around McKenna. Kind of knocked off of Martin. Down to Vukias. Kick back up. Flared up by Facineri. Multiple players go flying. It's Babone, though, with it. Bone looking to set up a flying ahead offense. Instead, throw in. Windsor brings it quickly back into touch, and will have to do it so again. Lobau. Back to the defensive layers. Looking for Andreas. Keeps it close to the offside flag, but rolls all the way for a goal kick. Smart heads up from Drummond. As you take a look at some of the fans, Celebro is still out. The win not as bad as earlier in terms of some of the impact. But many fans looking to see Windsor City. The hunt for the mid-table for this season. Off of Drummond. Go back the 2. Throw in. Oh, and hold on. Some words. Drummond, yellow card. So Drummond picks up a yellow card after some words exchange, setting up for the throw-in. Drummond with his 4th yellow card of 2023. Unofficially in the 60th minute of play. Antoniuk. Up. Babone. Antoniuk. Lots of space to run. And a slide tackle, clean call, continuation. Barone. Moved up to DeMarco, and now whistles. North Toronto working fast on the quick free. Moved about. McKenna. Other side. Barone. Westlaken. Slaken. Drummond. Looking back. Barone. Westlaken. Breslan. And it looks like Carrero goes back and picks it back up. Starting to set a calmer tempo here. Lobel's pass knocked about. Now moved up Barone and just out of the reach of Elzier. Goal kick coming up for Windsor. See the idea there. One defender on that side, Facineri. When it comes to North Toronto, by the way, when it comes to their run, they're getting ready for their longest home stint of the season, 4 matches in a row. There's the previous replay sequence, by the way, just seen from what was a continuation call. Still, getting back to North Toronto. Lions United FC, Scrosobe, along with St. Catharines Roma, Simcoe County Rovers, all on the home schedule at Downsview Turf, all the way until their last match on the road at Sigma FC. Close out the year. Goal kick coming. back up. In our words, team in the mid-table, big chance here for some solid points, as we've talked about today for either side. How close things are getting. Speaking of chances, Alzier with a shot off the face. And for the corner kick it goes. Carrero on the save. And he used every bit of real estate. Now set up Reslan. From the far corner. Looking for the cross. Off the header. Knocked down by Lobel. And kicked over top the woodwork by 20 feet. McKenna. Unofficially approaching minute 64. 10-4, the difference on shots. Take a look at the North Toronto side, the Windsor City sides. You see some of those discussions picking up far side. See the differences, some of the discussion with Lynn currently from the North Toronto side. Windsor still discussing things with some of their players who are not on the pitch right now. Meanwhile, on it. Amadov trying to get to Antonia, goes underneath his feet. Alzier looks to the outside. Martin couldn't hold on to it. Aguilera kicks it back. McKenna has it moved about 50 feet up. Lands back down for Barone. Now it's Drummond. Drummond from far out. Too strong. Goal kick. It looks like a water break being signaled for here on the pitch. So our second one of the match coming unofficially in minute 65. 2-2, still the score line. 10 shots for North Toronto, 4 shots for Windsor City. North Toronto having to come down from 2-0 to close this gap today. The next time out again for Windsor City FC at this home pitch. With their second to last of the season when they stuff the trunk, where they'll be gathering school supply donations to support United Way's Backpacks for Success program. That is brought to you by Absolute Comfort in using one of their trucks to gather school supplies for the upcoming school year. To take part, be sure to come to Acumen Stadium, attend the matchup to be able to donate school supplies for the brand new school year for the United Way. Looking at the other games going on the score schedule, 3 today on the table from the table opponents. Currently going on in action, Blue Devils FC and Hamilton United. Also, a big one in terms of North Toronto's points positioning, Burlington SC against Guelph United, 6 p.m. Eastern. Woodbridge and Alliance United also fairly significant for the seeding at the top half of the table. 7 p.m. is their opening kick. Substitution being made. Agapito out. Coming in, Gianni Ferry. One of the older players on the roster comes in for Windsor. Looks like North Toronto still having some more subs, yes. It looks like at least 2 or 3 ready to come in here. So at least Windsor City FC substitution cleared forward. Unofficially now in 67 minutes of action. Carraro. From his main kick point. Knocked down around midfield. Siegel now with Andreas. Looking up. Pabon. Trying to get the ball back. Siegel breaks up the pass. Andreas gets it. Antoniuk. Out to Agapito. Or rather, off of Aguilera. Back to the near side. Siegel. And out of touch. Bringing it back into touch. North Toronto. And now those substitutions look to come in. Our first of the match for North Toronto. Reslan. Amongst those coming out, as well as DeMarco. Also amongst those coming out in that sequence. There's a couple of the others. So, North Toronto bringing in some of their mainstays and some of the starts this season. Amongst those in, Justin Santos, one of their higher-up scorers as well with 5 goals on the season. Alzir now comes up. Santos works from behind him. Santos, after tripping down, works outside the box, looking for their leading scorer. Abdi can't get to him. Taken back, Andreas. Lobel, quick far, and a trip on the ball. Ferry trips on the ball, up the pitch for the rush ahead. Trying to break ahead, Barnes sliding down, can't get a shot off. Facineri helps him back up. Also amongst those now into the match, Akeem Vilus. Let's take a look there. There's Barnes slipping on the turf. Windsor City currently throwing in. Unofficially about 20 minutes to go, pending added time. Facineri keeps it. Looking up for Babone. One-on-one. Stopping. Passing back. Thinking better on the far shot. Looking for a close chance. Andreas to Siegel. For a cross. Over top its target. Ferry heads it back. Stefanovic regroups it. Looking and kicking off the back of the head of Drummond. Taken back up with the Nitros. Alzir. North Toronto going press. Santos cutting ahead, looking back on the pass meanwhile. It goes to Martin. Working around, Vilos. Drummond. Loop around, Barnes. Deflected, Siegel kicks it away. As the midfield, Martin retreats. Up to Santos, Siegel takes it back. Siegel move back again, Facineri. Off one pull, still keeps going. Not slowed down by the pull at the jersey. Pabon, Facineri. Might have to attack and lots of whistles fly. See how this gets positioned as him and Martin tied up. And giddy up. Official says no thank you. Free kick just outside the box for Windsor City. Antoniuk has had a very stellar month of July. Set to take the free kick. It's a big part of the victory last time out. Can he get the go-ahead? Looking for the cross over the woodwork. Goal kick signaled. North Toronto to bring it back into touch. That one touched 3 players before that went sailing out over the crossbar. Martin. Floated around over Factionary's head. He can't get around to it. Back up to the sky. Santos, great header. Moved up, Fukas. Looking Drummond. Fukas, too far and high. Corner is signaled for. And Santos looking to set it up. An interesting thing, when you look towards North Toronto's website, one of the answers that each player gave about, or rather a question was asked for each player was, why are you excited about being on this team this year? There was one that stood out. One of his teammates, I believe it was DeMarco, said, I wanted to play with Santos. He watches the own goal roll in. North Toronto is up by 1 on an own goal by Windsor City on the corner. Andreas kicks it into his own net. Ferry is down in the box as well. And the flip of the script is complete.
The 75th minute of play. Visitors, a 3-2 event, 75th minute of play. 3-2, our score.
3-2 now the score line after an own goal for Andreas is the signal. Training staff currently presiding to Ferry at the other end of the pitch. And after leading for more than half the match, it all comes undone. 74th and 75th minute unofficially on the time. Ferry stepping off for now. We'll see what is said there for now. 10 men on the pitch. There's a look at some of the wind gusts building up. The shadow of the Saints Nation sign added to the facility a few months ago. Still waiting to see if there's the go-ahead or not. Windsor City with the ball. Lobel. Knocked back to the corner. And just kicked down instead. The offense has slowed to a sputter for Windsor. They're scoring twice on 3 shots, 1 shot since. Taken away after the throw-in. Faccioneri. Siegel. Treated backwards. Lobel. Forced to cut left. Back along. Aguilera. Unofficially in the 77th minute. North Toronto up 3-2. Ferry. Up the side. Having to move back. Floated to traffic. Taken back. Pabon. Forced retreat. Toniak. Back to Lobel. Looks to switch it up. Rhythmatically going to the left, then to the right. Aguilera. Back around. Looking for and directing. Out to Andreas. Siegel knocks it down. Siegel looking for a cross. Awkward opportunity. And now it sets up a big one. A corner. Westlaken knocks it out. Off the corner. Quickly kicked off. Alzier. And now Windsor City will do it again. Stevanovic retreats back to pick up the ball. And Antoniuk moves up and watches on the setup for the corner. He'll take the chance. Looking, headed. Knocked back down off of Ferry, and for a goal kick it goes. Windsor at this point looking to find any momentum back. The energy sunk down to the Acumen Stadium grandstands after an own goal a few minutes ago by Andreas after a corner kick from Justin Santos by the North Toronto Nitros. Midfield, Lobel. Headed up Stevanovic. Kick back the other way. The wind landing right to the bounce back. Kick ahead, Lobel. Not too much time to work with. Lobel works it away from some trouble. That was Velos providing pressure. Still Velos in that middle bubble. Lobel this time sees a different challenger and a whistle. A tackle knocking Lobel down as one of the North Toronto players kicks the ball into him. Lobel goes back up to the turf. No signal for a change. This is the reason. This is after dealing with Velos twice. Third time to him. A different challenger approaches. It's Drummond. Back it away. Move back again. Coral. Coral. Slowly passed forward. Aguilera. Moved up far side. They're looking to go press. Andreas looking to make up for the own goal. North Toronto instead boots it to the grandstands. Windsor City to bring it back into touch. Pabon looking for a cross, knocks it out for a corner off of North Toronto quick. Unofficially in the 81st minute. Windsor looking for something to hit the target. Doniak, the corner. Goes very low this time. Not able to find a Windsor City FC offensive player. Defensively moved all the way back around. Abdi. Forced back, Martin. Wind drifts it back to Aguilera. Carrero. Moved up the other side. Amanov. Now as Lobel moved back. Facineri calling for it. Facineri wants it, kicks it. Up the pitch. The deflection back. Nifty pass Ferry. Roll back and a tank back from Pabon. Midfield traffic. Pabon, and that is off, and Taliuk drawing the whistle. Free kick, North Toronto. Right there with the grab of the right arm. Back in pass short this time with the wind gusts. Alzir. Little float. Facineri tries to tackle, can't tackle it forward. A dive and a deflection out. Abdi on the shot. Corner signaled for. It's come from the near side. Rare corner from that side today. But going off the stomach region for the save. Santos once again setting up for the set piece. Looking. Just grazed away. Antoniuk rolls it off the back of Stevanovic. All the way back it goes. Westlaken. Off of Facineri on the header. Windsor running out of time. Unofficially in the 84th minute. 3-2 the scoreline. Lobel. Walked forward. There's the scoreline. Andreas with the own goal back to the 74th minute. Changing the complexion of this match from a possible point being picked up by Windsor City to now North Toronto picking up 3 critical points. Ball goes out. Throw in. Windsor City. In the action. More whistles. As Windsor trying to pass back. Some discussions with Antoniuk. Remember, already with the card earlier. Or Toronto working fast again. Looking upfield. Aguilera. Kicked forward. Pabon. Bone. Keeps to the turf. Siegel. Siegel sees a chance. To Ferry. Pass to Siegel. Trip up, clean whistle. Move forward. Ferry. Back again. Siegel. Ferry. Lobel. All the way back for regroup. Can Windsor do anything to try and equalize it late? Antoniuk. Move back to Lobel. Now they go for the near side. The signal from the captain. Stevanovic runs up. Lynn kicks it back. Aguilera, the captain, gives it back again. Lobel. Up the far side. Towards the logos instead. Siegel. Forced to go back on his own header. Carrero again kicks it. Going this time with a low loft. Facineri. Small header. And that draws whistles. Too much bumping in the battle with Velos. Velos getting back up. This is what causes the whistle. Right there, you see the left arm. Unofficially in the 87th minute. Another whistle, and Windsor City back the other way. Windsor trying to work fast. Long pass taken from Aguilera. Looking for Babone. Foot race. Who touched it? Signal goal kick. No touch from North Toronto. Depending on how things close out here, Windsor City, potentially with their now 8th loss of the season if things stay the way they are for the next few minutes. North Toronto with a very important 9th victory on the campaign. Still some time to work with though, depending on the added time being set up by the 4th official. Unofficially, coming up to 90 seconds to go in regular time. Floated back up. Kick back by Martin. Move ahead. Alzier. Two players. Kept right on top of the paint. Lobel. Yora. On the far side. Dup. Antoniuk. Kicked off a player. Regroup to Siegel. Smatter set up near side. Ferry through the middle. Chance and a trip up out of the box. No call. Lynn gets to it. See, one of the earlier sequences causing the scrambles. Now they scramble. North Toronto does. And now a whistle with some discussion. This is what's causing it. It's just outside of the range of the box. Lynn. Wants space to kick it. Babone not giving it. 5 minutes of added time signaled for. Wind gust out. Throw in coming. We'll be playing to about the 95th minute on your top of the screen. Worked up Factionary. Move around, Antoniuk. Roll back and regroup. Aguilera. Gennari from the other side. Ferry. King middle. And the tackle draws a whistle. Working fast on the regroup, Emanov. Faccioneri working fast. Play is ongoing. Aguilera. Outside, Andreas. Kick back by North Toronto. Be one or two more real chances left for Windsor City to do anything. Looking to speed up the process. A little bit too much zip. Alzier gets it after the kickback. Bell trying to deflect it around. The Nitros going up. Alzier setting up a chance on the dagger. The shot misses. Abdi on the shot. Carrero kicks it away quick. Quick look at the sequence. Windsor City trying to work on their own right now. At the other end, whistle. North Toronto possession. Unofficially, about 3 minutes coming up to go. Lynn now moving all the way out for the kick. Inside Windsor territory. Move back into the air. Knocked down by North Toronto. Andreas. Moved out to Faccioneri. Oh, and a trip. Whistle called. North Toronto for the free kick. And the reason it goes to North Toronto, watch this. He runs into the leg of Wesleyan. Wesleyan being checked up by the training staff. They discuss things now in added time. Again, remember, next time out, Masters Football in their FA Academy. Masters Football Academy, better way to phrase it. Coming on in July the 23rd. That starts 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in here on We Digital or attend in person and be part of stuffing the truck of school supplies. United Way. Remember to stay tuned later on today, and after the match should say, to see who the Flings out of the match be today for Windsor City FC. So after some stoppage time, free kick for the Nitros. Kenna, let's sail to the corner. Work back over to Lobel. Back down to Siegel. Siegel floats. Facineri knocks down. Stevanovic. He has yet to score since his hat trick. Had 4 chances last week. Headed on the dive. Almost out of time. From Aguilera, the box. Kicked away. And it looks like a corner. No, a throw. Looking for the box again. Facineri can't get a shot off. The Nitros booted back to midfield. Officials keeping an eye on the watches. Lynn off the bounce, dives on top of it. Now looks for the roll or kick away. How about both in the same sequence this time? Sails over top Barnes. Move back midfield. Abdi. Right side. In traffic. On top of the ball, it's squirts out. Corner signaled for. You'll see why here. It is a tight play. Look to be on top there. And right inconclusive, if anything. Back to play, and everyone battled up the stick. And it looks like they have called for a goal kick. Keeping an eye on the officials. Carrero kicks it forward to Lobel. Far ahead. Facineri tries to flick it. Move to midfield. Lobel far side. Working with Andreas. Booted back by Martin. And there's the whistle. There it is. North Toronto picks up win number 9. 3-2 is the final. The own goal by Andreas, the difference. Windsor City FC with their 8th loss on the season. And the emotions on the pitch prevalent. What could have been after 2 goals in 19 minutes. And Andreas being the latter of the 2 goals. It's Andreas who ends up being the difference between the tie and the win. Looking at some of the highlights as we get ready for your Flings Windsor City FC Man of the Match, brought to you by Flings Fried Chicken. And goal sequences such as this one in the midst of traffic, major differences. Barnes in that 52nd minute, up close to be able to set things forward. Carrero having to stand everywhere to move things around, but also deflect things. 11 shots faced today. But it's that one corner that ends up playing the difference. Despite all the pressure in the first half, despite all the close battles such as this one with Facineri, it ends up being the corner set up by Santos that ends up being the major difference today. Facineri amongst those with plenty of touches, you can argue. North Toronto really picked up the press attack from the final 50-plus unofficial minutes. And things getting signaled for your Flames Fried Chicken man of the match. Give it to Mark David Siegel. I didn't add to the score line today. He was a major part of a lot of the facilitation of offense as well as the defensive mark. Plenty of touches. He was the one who had a majority of them, you can argue, for Windsor City today. Once again, Flames Fried Chicken, the official sponsor of the Windsor City FC Man of the Match. Check them out on Wyandotte Street East today in downtown Windsor. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. For the rest of our crew, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. North Toronto Nitros picks up the victory over Windsor City FC. 3-2 is your final.